to another Coach Dave Academy lap guide with myself, Kieran Harrison, in the GT4. This time I'm in the Aston Martin, and we're at Daytona for week 4. So without further ado, let's get started. So that was a full speed lap around Daytona in the Aston GT4. I'm now going to drive around at a slower pace so I can point out all the braking points and driving lines and things as we go. So we're just starting here, just before the start-finish line. It's just a gentle left, easy flat. I tend to stay low till about when you're crossing the finish line, and then just sort of fade up the track towards the wall, so that you're sort of reaching the outside of the track just as you want to turn and brake. And I'm looking for this last white line in the track. I'm braking probably about here, just momentarily before. And in this car, you want to get on the brakes really quite hard, almost 100% braking until you want to fade off the brakes just to help it turn, because otherwise it'll go straight. But initially brake hard. We're coming down for this apex. I think you want to stay in third gear, which generally this car is about a gear higher than every other car in every corner. I don't know, the gear ratios are different, but it gets quite good traction in third as well. So you want to get hard on the power on the exit to try and really, basically you want to try and get as straight an exit as possible, so you can just go flat out as soon as possible to get as good an exit as possible. That's what matters in this car. So coming through this bit, you want to immediately get over to the left after you get out of the quick S's, and looking at these white lines on the track again. This time I'm braking just after the last one. Braking really hard again, down from 5th to 3rd. I take quite a late apex here as well, just again to try and get a straight exit so I can get hard on the power, really fire out of the hairpin. You can use all of this track beyond the white line and then the curb as well, but definitely don't go over the curb. It really unsettles the car. Then we got a little mini straight into this left kink, which this is flat. But do be careful if you're in a multi-class race or something and you're stuck on the outside, then you might need a small lift just to stay on if you're forced wide. But when you're on your own, you just want to stay tight to the left through here, and then just as this road on the left starts, this service road or cut through, whatever it is, just a few meters after that, that's when you want to hit the brakes. Again, just going down to third gear. I don't think we use second gear at this track in this car. So yeah, just down to third, actually slow right down on the apex. And I try and hug the curb pretty much all the way around, and then get hard on the power, and then you get straighter exit instead of turning while you're accelerating hard. Really helps the car to get going again. Then approaching the final corner on the infield, again looking for this service road on the right, just after we enter it, maybe another couple of meters. About where I am now. You want to really get on the brakes hard. Just down from 4th to 3rd this time. There's several lines you can take through this part. I think the best way is to sort of hug it a bit tight and try and get a tight exit instead of running out wide all the way up the banking. But you can get away with either without much time difference. So whichever you prefer, really, or the situation dictates you do, it's fine. But even if you do run up high, you want to get down to the low side of the banking as soon as you can. Just obviously to minimize the distance you travel around the oval. Speed up at this point. There's not much to talk about on the oval parts. Just now thinking about the breaking point for the well, was the bus stop. It's changed name now, but this for me is probably the most difficult corner to get right, especially with the track limits that iRacing has now. At all 4 apexes, really, you go slightly over and it's an off track immediately. So I think what a good reference is this yellow light you can see just underneath my mirror on screen. It might not be on your screen, but near the top of the screen, just on the right side there. That's about the breaking point, slightly before that. And you just want to slowly go down to 5th and then 4th just before the apex. You've got to turn in reasonably early with this car. It doesn't seem to like changing direction quickly. So you've got to turn in reasonably early and smoothly. And the same applies when you change direction to turn right. You've got to make sure you don't even touch the grass at any point, because it's just an instant off track. It's really harsh. But yeah, as I say, change direction really smoothly through here, smoothly back on the power, otherwise you'll just understeer out wide. And then once you know you're going to get this 3rd apex, then you can go hard on the power and just fire it out towards the left apex. Try and get as good an exit as you can, because then you're flat out for a long time before you get back round to turn 1. Again, for this oval corner, just stay as low as you can without touching the apron to try and minimize the line. If you are approaching, like if you're beginning a qualifying lap on the next lap, you can run right round to the top. Because it increases the distance you travel, you end up crossing the start-finish line faster. So you gain a little advantage before turn 1, but it's pretty negligible. And again, on a qualifying run at the end of it, iRacing does let you get away with running down here on the apron, just to shorten the run. But I wouldn't do that in race conditions. But yeah, that brings us to the end. Yeah. I'm not supposed to sign off yet. Well, I was going to start signing off, and then I remembered that I do a different bit anyway. So you just cut to me outro. So that was it. That was my full lap guide for the Aston GT4 at Daytona. Whilst it seems like a simple track on paper, I actually find that particularly the bus stop in turn 1 can be really tricky. Certainly trying to keep the rear in check on the brakes. You just got to be careful of that. But yeah, unlike the Porsche that I did 2 weeks ago for my lap guide, this car is completely the opposite on the brakes. You've really got to smash the ABS, at least initially when you brake. You've still got to trail off as you turn in to make it rotate. But yeah, really get on the brakes hard, and you'll maximize this car. So yeah, thanks for tuning in to another Coach Dave Academy lap guide. We do these every week for a whole load of different cars, so be sure to check out the YouTube channel for that, and any other information you need on the website or Discord. But for now, that's it from me, so I'll see you in the next one.